Hey everybody, the Road of Legends event is coming to Pokemon Go very, very soon, and it is big, like really big. So big that this is one of two videos I have up on this channel just about Road of Legends. Now, I know why you guys clicked on this video, so let's go ahead and get into all of the raid counters for Monday, July 6th. I put a ton of effort into this project, so if you find it helpful at all, please consider dropping a like and a sub. So, let's go. Starting out with the Cantonian Legendary Birds, Articuno is weak to electric, fire, and steel type attacks. It is also double weak to rock type moves, so keep that in mind when you are selecting your counters. You can duel it, but it is best to utilize at least 4 players per lobby. The best Pokemon to use against Articuno are going to be Mega Deontay with Rock Throw and Rock Slide, Shadow Rampardos with Smackdown and Rock Slide, Mega Tyranitar using Smackdown and Stone Edge, Shadow Gigalith with Smackdown and Meteor Beam, Shadow Tyrantrum with Rock Throw and Meteor Beam, or Shadow Rhyperior using Smackdown and Rock Wrecker. If you don't have these higher counters yet, you can use any of these Shadow or Mega Pokemon I already mentioned in their regular forms, as long as you double check that they have these specific recommended movesets on them. Also, a Mega Aerodactyl with Rock Throw and Rock Slide, a Tyrantrum with Rock Throw and Meteor Beam, or an Aurorus with that same moveset could help you out. When you reach the catch encounter, be aware that Articuno has 1 in 20 shiny odds and 100% IV CPs of 1743 or 2179, boosted in windy or snowy weather. Moltres is only weak to rock-type attacks. It's a fairly easy trio. Top counters are Mega Deontay, Rock Throw, Rock Slide, Shadow Rampardo, Smackdown, Rock Slide, Shadow Tyrantrum, Rock Throw, Meteor Beam, Shadow Gigalith, Smackdown, Meteor Beam, Shadow Tyranitar, Smackdown, Stone Edge, Shadow Rhyperior, Smackdown, Rock Wrecker. Budget options for all of these counter sheets are going to include the top Megas and Shadows I mentioned in this first slide in their regular forms. For Moltres, you could also utilize a Mega Aerodactyl with Rock Throw and Rock Slide, Lamora, Rock Throw, Meteor Beam, or an Aurorus with Rock Throw and Meteor Beam. Moltres' hundo numbers are at 1980 or 2475, both non-weather boosted and boosted by windy and sunny weather. 1 in 20 shiny odds. Zapdos is weak to ice and rock type attacks. It's duoable, but take 5 players to be safe. Top counters: White Kyurem, Ice Fang and Ice Burn, Black Kyurem, Dragon Tail and Freeze Shock, Shadow Rhyperior, Smackdown and Rock Wrecker, Mega Mewtwo Y, Psycho Cut and Psy Strike, Mega Deontay, Rock Throw and Rock Slide, Shadow Tyrantrum, Rock Throw, Meteor Beam. Budget: Mega Aerodactyl, Rock Throw and Rock Slide, Rampardos, Smackdown and Rock Slide, Aurorus, Rock Throw and Meteor Beam. Zapdos will have 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundo numbers of 2015 non-weather boosted or 2519 in rainy or windy weather. Raikou, weak to ground, 5 players per lobby. Top counters: Primal or Shadow Groudon, Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Mega or Shadow Garchomp, Mudshot and Earth Power, Shadow Rhyperior, Mudslap and Earthquake, Mega Mewtwo Y, Psycho Cut and Psy Strike, Landorus in its Therian form, Mudshot and Sandsteer Storm, Shadow Mamoswine, Mudslap, High Horsepower. Budget options: Excadrill with Mudslap and Scorching Sands, Golurk, Mudslap and Earth Power, Rhydon, Mudslap and Earthquake. 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 1972 or 2466, boosted in windy weather. Entei is weak to ground, rock, and water. Possible duo: 4 trainers is best. Counters are Primal or Shadow Groudon, Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Primal Shadow Kyogre, Waterfall and Origin Pulse, Shadow Rhyperior, Mudslap and Rock Wrecker, Mega Swampert with Water Gun and Hydro Cannon, Mega or Shadow Garchomp, Mudshot and Earth Power, Shadow Greninja, Water Shuriken and Hydro Cannon. Budget: Mega Aerodactyl, Rock Throw and Rock Slide, Mega Gyarados, Waterfall and Hydro Pump, or Blastoise with Water Gun and Hydro Cannon. 1 in 20 shiny rate, hundos of 1984 or 2480, boosted by sunny weather. Suicune, Grass and Electric type weakness. Trioable, 5 players to be safe. Best Pokemon to use against it are Mega Sceptile with Bullet Seed and Frenzy Plant, Regieleki with Thundershock and Thunder Cage, Xurkitree with Thundershock and Discharge, Shadow Electivire with Thundershock and Wild Charge, Shadow Raikou with that same moveset, and Kartana with Razor Leaf and Leaf Blade. Additionally, Mega Ampharos with Full Switch and Zap Cannon, Chestnut with Vine Whip and Frenzy Plant, and Tangrowth with Vine Whip and Power Whip will help you out in this battle. Suicune has hundo numbers of 1704 or 2130 with rainy weather boost and 1 in 20 shiny odds. Lugia is up next, weak to electric, dark, rock, ghost, and ice type attacks. It's tanky, so bring 5 trainers. Top counters include Black Kyurem with Dragon Tail and Free Shock, White Kyurem, Dragon Breath and Ice Burn, Regieleki, Thundershock and Thunder Cage, Dawnwings Necrozma, Shadow Claw and Moongeist Beam, Mega or Shadow Tyranitar, Smackdown and Brutal Swing, and Mega Gengar with Lick and Shadow Ball. Also, Mega Manectric, Thunderfang and Wild Charge, Mega Houndoom, Snarl and Foul Play, Baxcalibur, Ice Fang and Avalanche, Avalugg with Ice Fang and Avalanche. When you make it to the catching counter, be aware that it'll have 1 in 20 shiny odds and Hunter numbers of 2115 non-weather boosted or 2645 in windy weather. Ho-Oh is weak only to rock type attacks, and as such, it is doable in optimal conditions, but bring 5 players per lobby to be safe. Counters include Mega Diancie, Rock Throw and Rock Slide, Shadow Rampardo, Smackdown and Rock Slide, Shadow Tyrantrum, Rock Throw and Meteor Beam, Shadow Gigalith, Smackdown and Meteor Beam, Mega T-Tar, Smackdown and Stone Edge, and Shadow Rhyperior, Smackdown and Rock Wrecker. Additionally, Mega Aerodactyl, Rock Throw and Rock Slide, Glamora, Rock Throw and Meteor Beam, and Aurorus with Rock Throw and Meteor Beam. Ho-Oh has hundos of 2207 or 2759, boosted in windy and sunny weathers, and has 1 in 20 shiny odds. Time for the Reggies. Regirock is weak to grass, ground, water, fighting, and steel type moves. Trioable, but bring 5 trainers. Top counters include Crown Sword Zacian, Metal Claw Behemoth Blade, Crown Shield Zamazenta, Metal Claw Behemoth Bash, Dustmane Necrozma, Metal Claw and Sunsteel Strike, Mega Mewtwo X, counter and Focus Blast, Mega Blaziken, counter and Aura Sphere, and Keldeo in its Resolute form with Low Kick and Secret Sword. If you don't have those counters powered up yet, you could utilize Mega Heracross with counter and Focus Blast and Excadrill with Metal Claw and Iron Head. Regirock will have 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundo numbers of 1784 or 2230 in partly cloudy weather. Regice, Fire, Steel, Fighting, Rock type weakness. Trioable, bring 5 peeps to be safe. Counters include Crown Sword Zacian, Metal Claw and Behemoth Blade, Crown Shield Zamazenta, Metal Claw and Behemoth Bash, Dustmane Necrozma, Metal Claw and Sunsteel Strike, Mega Mewtwo X, counter and Focus Blast, Mega Blaziken with counter and Aura Sphere, Keldeo in its Resolute form with Low Kick and Secret Sword also. Mega Heracross, counter and Focus Blast, Excadrill with Metal Claw and Iron Head, 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 1784 non-weather boosted or 2230 in snowy weather. Registeel is weak to fighting, ground, and fire type moves. 5 players per lobby. Bring Mega Mewtwo X, counter and Focus Blast, Mega Lucario, Force Palm and Aura Sphere, Mega Blaziken, Fire Spin and Aura Sphere, Blacephalon with Incinerate and Mind Blown, Shadow Reshiram with Fire Fang and Fusion Flare, and Keldeo in its Resolute form with Low Kick and Secret Sword. Budget options are Mega Heracross, counter Focus Blast, Excadrill, Mudslap, Scorching Sands, Golurk, Mudslap and Earth Power, and Rhydon with Mudslap and Earthquake. Registeel, 1 in 20 shiny odds, hundos of 1398 non-weather boosted or 1748 in snowy weather. Regigigas is weak only to fighting type movesets. Bring 5 trainers. Best Pokemon to use against Regigigas are going to be strong Mega Pokemon, such as Lucario with Force Palm and Aura Sphere. Either form of Mewtwo, but particularly X with counter and Focus Blast. Latios with Zen Headbutt and Aura Sphere. Heracross with counter and Close Combat. Blaziken with counter and Aura Sphere. And RAYQUAZA with Dragon Tail and Dragon Ascent. Now, since we can only bring 1 Mega Evolved Pokemon in a lobby, here are some lower counters we can use to buff out our Ray teams. Starting out with Keldeo in its Resolute form with Low Kick and Secret Sword. Terrakion with Double Kick and Sacred Sword. Shadow Blaziken with counter and Aura Sphere. Shadow Conkeldurr with Force Palm and Dynamic Punch. Eternatus with Poison Jab and Dynamic Cannon, just because of its sheer DPS, and Lucario with Force Palm and Aura Sphere. If you don't have all of these Pokemon powered up from Regigo yet, you can just bring your strongest Mon with fighting type movesets. Regigigas has 1 in 20 shiny odds and 100 numbers of 2483 or 3104 boosted in partly cloudy weather. Regieleki is weak to ground type attacks and is doable. Top counters are Primal Shadow Groudon with Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Mega Shadow Garchomp with Mudshot and Earth Power, Shadow Mamoswine with Mudslap and High Horsepower, Landorus in its Therian form with Mudshot and Sandsear Storm, Shadow Excadrill, Mudslap with Scorching Sands, and Shadow Rhyperior with Mudslap and Earthquake. Budget counters include Golurk, Mudslap and Earth Power, Rhydon, Mudslap and Earthquake, and Crocodile with Mudslap and Earthquake. 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 1602 or 2002 boosted in rainy weather. Regidrago is weak to Dragon, Ice, and Fairy type movesets. It is one of the few soloable 5-star raid bosses, but bring a friend to be safe. Best counters: Mega Ray, Dragon Tail and Break and Swipe, Eternatus, Dragon Tail Z-Max Cannon, Mega Garchomp, Dragon Tail Break and Swipe, Black Kyurem, Dragon Tail Free Shock, White Kyurem, Ice Fang and Ice Burn, Mega Gardevoir, Charm and Dazzling Gleam. Other counters include Haxorus, Dragon Tail Break and Swipe, Dragapult with that same moveset, Baxcalibur with Ice Fang and Avalanche, and Avalugg with that same moveset. Regidrago will have 1 in 20 shiny odds and hunter numbers of 1699 non-weather boosted or 2124 in windy weather. Kyogre is up next, weak to grass and electric type attacks. The difficulty of this raid specifically is going to vary greatly depending on this defending Kyogre's moveset. So, we would recommend bringing at least 5 players per lobby just to be safe. Since these aren't primal raids, you will not be receiving primal energy from them. So, our top counters for Kyogre are going to be either form of Mega Mewtwo with Psycho Cut and Side Strike, Mega Venusaur, Vine Whip and Frenzy Plant, Shadow Raikou with Thundershock and Wild Charge, Kartana with Razor Leaf and Leaf Blade, Xurkitree, Thundershock and Discharge, and Shadow Electivire with Thundershock and Wild Charge. Additionally, Mega Ampharos with Volt Switch and Zap Cannon, Chestnut, Vine Whip and Frenzy Plant, and Magnezone with Volt Switch and Wild Charge. Kyogre's Hundo numbers are 2351 or 2939, boosted in windy weather. It will have 1 in 20 shiny odds. Groudon will also have hundos of 2351 and 2939, but it is boosted in sunny weather. It's weak to grass, ice, and water type attacks. Bring 5 players, but again, since these aren't primal raids, no primal energy. Top counters: Primal Kyogre, Waterfall and Origin Pulse, White Kyurem, Ice Fang and Ice Burn, Mega Ray, Dragon Tail and Dragon Ascent, Mega Sceptile, Bullet Seed and Frenzy Plant, Black Kyurem, Dragon Tail and Free Shock, and Zarude with Vine Whip and Power Whip. Other counters include Mega Irregular Gyarados with Waterfall and Aqua Tail, and Rillaboom with Razor Leaf and Grass Knot. Groudon will have 1 in 20 shiny odds. Also sporting 1 in 20 shiny odds, Rayquaza is back. I know a lot of y'all been waiting for this. It's weak to Fairy, Dragon, Ice, and Rock. Duelable, but make it a 3-way if you're lower level. Top counters are Black Kyurem with Dragon Tail and Free Shock, White Kyurem with Dragon Breath and Ice Burn, Mega Mewtwo Y, Psycho Cut and Ice Beam, Eternatus with Dragon Tail and Dynamax Cannon, Shadow Mammoth with Powder Stone, Avalanche, and Mega Ray itself with Dragon Tail and Breaking Swipe. Also usable are Haxorus with Dragon Tail and Break and Swipe, Garchomp with that same moveset, Excalibur with Ice Fang and Avalanche, and Avalugg with that same moveset. Race Hundos are 2191, non-weather boosted, or 2739 in windy weather. Reshiram, weak to Dragon, Ground, and Rock type moves. Trioable, but bring 5. Counters are Eternatus, Dragon Tail D-Max Cannon, Mega Ray, Dragon Tail Break and Swipe, Mega Garchomp, same moveset. Primal or Shadow Groudon, Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Dialga in its origin form, Dragon Breath and Roar Time, Shadow Rhyperior with Mudslap and Rock Wrecker. Budget options of Mega T-Tar, Smackdown and Rock Wrecker, Dragapult with Dragon Tail and Break and Swipe, and Haxorus with that same moveset. Reshi's got 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 2307 or 2884 in windy or sunny weather. Zeki is weak to Dragon, Ground, Ice, and Fairy type movesets. Again, trioable, bring 5. Counters of Eternatus, Dragon Tail D-Max Cannon, Mega Rayquaza, Dragon Tail and Break and Swipe, Mega or Shadow Garchomp with that same moveset, Primal Groudon with Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Black Kyurem with Dragon Tail and Free Shock, and White Kyurem with Dragon Breath and Ice Burn. Budget options of Excadrill with Mudslap and Scorch and Sands, or Dragapult and Haxorus with Dragon Tail and Break and Swipe. Zekrom also has hundos of 2307 or 2884 in rainy and windy weather. 1 in 20 shiny odds. Kyurem is weak to Fairy, Dragon, Rock, Fighting, and Steel type attacks. It's trioable, but bring 5. Please note that these are not fusion raids, so you will not be receiving fusion energy from them. Counters are Crown Sword Zacian, Metal Claw and Behemoth Blade, Crown Shield Zamazenta, Metal Claw and Behemoth Dash, Decimate Necrozma with Metal Claw and Sunsteel Strike, Eternatus, Dragon Tail and Dynamax Cannon, Mega Lucario with Force Palm and Aura Sphere, and Mega Mewtwo X with Counter and Focus Blast. Budget options include Excadrill, Metal Claw and Iron Head, and Mega Heracross, Counter and Focus Blast. Kyurem has 1 in 20 shiny odds and hunter numbers of 2042 non-weather boosted or 2553 in windy and snowy weather, and it may know its charged legacy attack, Glaciate. Solgaleo is weak to Fire, Dark, Ghost, and Ground. Trioable, bring 5. Counters: Shadow Reshiram, Fire Fang Fusion Flare, Dawn Wings Necrozma, Shadow Claw Moon Geist Beam, Mega Charizard, Fire Spin Blast Burn, Primal Groudon, Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Blacephalon, Incinerate M, Mind Blown, and Shadow Heatran with Fire Spin and Magnastorm. Other counters include Golurk with Mudslap and Earth Power, and Rhydon with Mudslap and Earthquake. Solgaleo is shiny locked for now, but it does have hunter numbers of 2310 non-weather boosted or 2887 in windy or snowy weather. Also shiny locked, but amazing nonetheless, Lunala is weak to Dark and Ghost type attacks. Trioable, bring 5. Best counters: Shadow Hydreigon, Bite and Brutal Swing, Mega Absol, Snarl and Brutal Swing, Mega Mewtwo Y, Psycho Cut and Side Strike, Shadow T-Tar, Bite and Brutal Swing, Dawn Wings Necrozma, Shadow Claw and Moongeist Beam, and Shadow Darkrai with Snarl and Shadow Ball. Budget options of Incineroar with Snarl and Darkest Lariat, Mega Houndoom with Snarl and Foul Play, Mega Manette, Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball, and Mega Gyarados with Bite and Crunch. Lunala's hundos are 2310 non-weather boosted or 2887 in windy and foggy weather. Necrozma, Bug Dart Ghost. Top counters: Dawn Wings Necrozma itself, Shadow Claw Moongeist Beam, Mega Gengar, Lick and Shadow Ball, Mega or Shadow Tyranitar, Bite and Brutal Swing, Mega Mewtwo Y, Psycho Cut and Side Strike, Shadow Chandelure with Hex and Shadow Ball, and Shadow Darkrai with Snarl and Shadow Ball. Other counters of Mega Houndoom, Snarl and Foul Play, Mega Heracross, Fury Cutter and Mega Horn, Mega Absol, Snarl and Brutal Swing, and Mega Pinsir, Fury Cutter and Egg Scissor. 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 2104 or 2630 boosted in windy weather. My favorite Pokemon is up next, Zacian in its Hero of Mini Battles form. It's weak to Steel and Poison type attacks. These aren't crowned raids, so we won't be receiving crowned energy. It's trioable, but bring 5. Best counters include Crown Sword Zacian itself with Metal Claw and Behemoth Blade, Crown Shield Zamazenta with Metal Claw and Behemoth Bash, Dustmane Necrozma with Metal Claw and Sunsteel Strike, Mega Lucario with Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash, Shadow Dialga with Metal Claw and Iron Head, and Mega or Shadow Metagross with Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash. Additionally, Mega Beedrill with Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, Excadrill with Meta Claw and Iron Head, Roserade with Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, and Mega Aggron with Iron Tail and Heavy Slam will help you out. When you make it to the catching counter, be aware that Zosh has 1 in 20 shiny odds and Hunter numbers of 2188 or 2735 in cloudy weather. Also having hundos of 2188 and 2735, Zam is weak to Psychic, Flying, and Fairy type attacks. It's doable, but take 4. The best Pokemon to counter Zamazenta are strong Mega Pokemon, such as either form of Mewtwo with Psycho Cut and Psy Strike, RAYQUAZA with Air Slash and Dragon Ascent, Alakazam with Confusion and Psychic, Glade and Gardevoir also with Confusion and Psychic, and Latios with Headbutt and Psychic. Since we can only take 1 Mega Pokemon per lobby, make sure to also bring a Shadow Moltres with Wing Attack and Fly, Mewtwo with Psycho Cut and Psy Strike, Rayquaza with Air Slash and Dragon Ascent, Enamorus in its incarnate form with Fairy Wind and Fly, Shadow Toucanian with Peck and Beak Blast, and Crown Sword Zacian with Air Slash and Play Rough. If you don't have these top counters powered up yet, just bring your strongest Psychic types. Zam will have 1 in 20 shiny odds when you encounter it. Latios and Latias are weak to Bug, Dark, Dragon, Ghost, Fairy, and Ice. They're trioable, but bring 5. Best counters are Mega Ray, Dragon Tail, Break and Swipe, Mega Garchomp, same moveset, Eternatus, Dragon Tail, and Dynamax Cannon, Dawn Wings, Necrozma, Shadow Claw, Moongeist Beam, Black Kyurem, Dragon Tail, and Freeze Shock, and Mega T-Tar with Bite and Brutal Swing. Other counters are Tyrantrum with Dragon Tail and Outrage, and Garchomp with Dragon Tail and Break and Swipe. 1 in 20 shiny odds on both. Latias's hundos are 2006 non-weather boosted or 2507 in windy weather. Latios's are 2178 and 2723. Dialga's altered and origin forms are weak to fighting and ground type movesets. Bring 7 players per lobby and use Mega Lucario, Force Palm and Aura Sphere, Mega Mewtwo X, Counter and Focus Blast, Primal Groudon, Mudshot and Precipice Blaze, Keldeo in its Resolute form, Low Kick and Secret Sword, Mega Blaziken with Counter and Aura Sphere, and Terrakion with Double Kick and Sacred Sword. You could also use Mega Heracross with Counter and Close Combat, Machamp with Counter and Dynamic Punch, and Excadrill with Mudslap and Scorching Sands. Both forms of Dialga will have 1 in 20 shiny odds. Altered Dialga's hundos are 2307 and 2884, and Origin Dialgas are 2337 and 2921, both boosted in windy and snowy weather. Origin Dialga may know Roar of Time. Both forms of Palkia are weak to Dragon and Fairy type attacks. Bring 4 players per lobby and use Mega Rayquaza, Dragon Tail and Break and Swipe, Mega or Shadow Garchomp with that same moveset, Eternatus with Dragon Tail and Dynamax Cannon, Origin form Dialga with Dragon Breath and Roar Time, Shadow Dialga with Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor, or Mega Salamence with Dragon Tail and Draco Meteor. Some budget options are Tyrantrum with Dragon Tail and Outrage, Dragapult with Dragon Tail and Breaking Swipe, Haxorus with that same moveset, and Mega Gardevoir with Charm and Dazzling Gleam. Like Dialga, both forms of Palkia will have 1 in 20 shiny odds. Altered Palkia's hundos are 2280 and 2850. Origins are 2367 and 2958 in rainy and windy weather. Origin Palkia may know Spatial Rend. Tornadus. Therian and Incarnate are weak to Electric, Rock, and Ice type attacks. Trioable, but bring 5. Best counters are Black Kyurem, Dragon Tail and Freeze Shock, White Kyurem, Dragon Breath, Ice Burn, Mega Mewtwo Y, Psycho Cut and Ice Beam, Shadow Electivire, Thundershock, and Wild Charge, Shadow Raikou with that same moveset, and Mega Deontay with Rock Throw and Rock Slide. You can also use a Glamora with Rock Throw and Meteor Beam, a Mega Aerodactyl with Rock Throw and Rock Slide, an Aurorus with Rock Throw and Meteor Beam, a Mega Manectric with Thunderfang and Wild Charge, and a Mega Ampharos with Volt Switch and Zap Cannon. Tornadus has 1 in 20 shiny odds and Incarnate hundo numbers of 1911 and 2389, and Therian hundo numbers of 1837 or 2296 in windy weather. Thundurus, Therian, and Incarnate are weak to Rock and Ice. They're trioable, but bring 5. Top counters: Black Kyurem, Dragon Tail and Freeze Shock, White Kyurem, Dragon Breath and Ice Burn, Mega Mewtwo Y, Psycho Cut and Ice Beam, Eternatus, Poison Jab and Dynamax Cannon, Mega Deontay, Rock Throw and Rock Slide, and Mega Ray with Dragon Tail and Breaking Swipe. Additionally, Glaceon, Ice Shard and Avalanche, Vanillux with Frost Breath and Avalanche, Cetitan with Ice Shard and Avalanche, and Avalugg with Ice Fang and Avalanche. Thundurus has 1 in 20 shiny odds and Therian hundos of 2091 or 2614, Incarnate of 1911 non-weather boosted or 2389 in windy or rainy weather. Landorus, Therian, and Incarnate are weak to water type attacks and double weak to ice type moves. They can be duoed but bring 4 per lobby. Top counters include Black Kyurem with Dragon Tail and Free Shock, White Kyurem, Dragon Breath and Ice Burn, Mega Mewtwo Y, Psycho Cut and Ice Beam, Primal Kyogre with Waterfall and Avalanche, Shadow Mamoswine with Powder Snow and Avalanche, and Excalibur with Ice Fang and Avalanche. Budget options are Glaceon with Ice Shard and Avalanche, Vanillux with Frost Breath and Avalanche, Satitan with Ice Shard and Avalanche, and Avalugg with Ice Fang and Avalanche. Both forms of Landorus will have 1 in 20 shiny odds. Its incarnate form has hundos of 2050 or 2563. Therian's hundos are 2241 or 2801 boosted in sunny and windy weather. Incarnate and Therian Enamorus are also coming to the Rays. They're weak to electric, ice, poison, rock, and steel type movesets. They can be trioed but bring 5 players. The best counters are Crown Sword Zacian with Metal Claw and Behemoth Blade, Crown Shield Zamazenta with Metal Claw and Behemoth Bash, Duskmane Necrozma with Metal Claw and Sunsteel Strike, White Kyurem with Ice Fang and Ice Burn, Mega or Shadow Metagross with Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash, and Mega Lucario with that same moveset. Other counters are Excadrill with Metal Claw and Iron Head, Mega Aggron with Iron Tail and Heavy Slam, Excalibur and Avalugg with Ice Fang and Avalanche. Enamorus is shiny locked, but the incarnate form has hundo numbers of 1957 or 2447. Therian's hundos are 1935 or 2420, boosted in windy or cloudy weather. All forms of Deoxys are weak to Ghost Bug and Dark type moves. The different forms have varying difficulty, so just bring 5 players all around just to be safe. The best Pokemon to counter Deoxys are going to include Mega Mewtwo Y with Psycho Cut and Shadow Ball, Mega Absol with Snarl and Brutal Swing, Dawn Wings and Necrozma with Shadow Claw and Moongeist Beam, Shadow or Mega T-Char with Bite and Brutal Swing, Shadow Hydreigon with that same moveset, or Shadow Darkrai with Snarl and Shadow Ball. Additional counters include Mega Heracross with Fury Cutter and Mega Horn, Mega Houndoom with Snarl and Foul Play, or Mega Scizor with Fury Cutter and Egg Scissor. All forms of Deoxys have 1 in 20 shiny odds and hunter numbers of 1645 non-weather boosted or 2056 in windy weather. The Lake Trio are also weak to Bug, Dark, and Ghost type attacks. You can duo them, but we would recommend at least 5 players per lobby. The best counters are Shadow Hydreigon with Bite and Brutal Swing, Mega Absol with Snarl and Brutal Swing, Mega Mewtwo Y with Psycho Cut and Psy Strike, Shadow Tyranitar with Bite and Brutal Swing, Dawn Wings and Necrozma with Shadow Claw and Moongeist Beam, and Shadow Darkrai with Snarl and Shadow Ball. Budget options include Incineroar with Snarl and Darkest Lariat, Mega Houndoom with Snarl and Foul Play, Mega Banette with Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball, and Mega Gyarados with Bite and Crunch. All the Lake Guardians have 1 in 20 shiny odds and are boosted in windy weather. Mesprit's hundos are 1747 and 2184. Azelf's are 1834 and 2260, and Uxie's are 1442 and 1803. Both of Giratina's forms are weak to Dark, Ghost, Fairy, Ice, and Dragon type attacks. They're duoable, but bring 4 to be safe. Top counters include Mega Ray, Dragon Tail, and Break and Swipe, Mega or Shadow Garchomp with that same moveset, Eternatus with Dragon Tail and D-Max Cannon, Dawn Wings Necrozma with Shadow Claw and Moongeist Beam, Black Kyurem with Dragon Tail and Free Shock, and White Kyurem with Ice Fang and Ice Burn. Additionally, Tyrantrum with Dragon Tail and Outrage, and Garchomp with Dragon Tail and Breaking Swipe. Giratina has 1 in 20 shiny odds and altered form hundos of 1931 or 2414, and origin form hundos of 2105 or 2631, boosted in foggy or windy weather. Heatran is weak to water fighting and double weak to ground type attacks. Trioable, but bring 5 players if you can. Top counters: Primal or Shadow Groudon, Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Mega or Shadow Garchomp, Mudshot and Earth Power, Mega Swampert, Mudshot and Earthquake, Shadow Landorus in its incarnate form with Mudshot and Earth Power, Landorus in its Therian form with Mudshot and Sincere Storm, and Shadow Rhyperior with Mudslap and Earthquake. Budget options include Golurk with Mudslap and Earth Power, Excadrill with Mudslap and Scorching Sands, and Rhydon with Mudslap and Earthquake. Heatran has 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 2145 or 2681 in sunny or snowy weather. Cresselia is weak to Bug, Ghost, and Dark. Bring 5 trainers. Top counters are Dawn Wings and Necrozma, Shadow Claw, and Moongeist Beam, Mega Gengar, Lick and Shadow Ball, Mega or Shadow T-Tar, Bite and Brutal Swing, Mega Mewtwo Y, Psycho Cut and Psy Strike, Shadow Chandelure, Hex and Shadow Ball, and Shadow Darkrai with Snarl and Shadow Ball. Budget options are Mega Houndoom with Snarl and Foul Play, Mega Pinsir with Fury Cutter and X Scissor, and Mega Absol with Snarl and Brutal Swing. Cresselia has 1 in 20 shiny odds and hunter numbers of 1633 non-weather boosted or 2041 in windy weather. Darkrai is weak to Fighting Fairy and Bug type movesets. Trioable, bring 5. Best counters include Mega Lucario with Force Palm and Aura Sphere, Mega Mewtwo X with Counter and Focus Blast, Shadow Conkeldurr with Force Palm and Dynamic Punch, Keldeo in its Resolute form with Low Kick and Secret Sword, Terrakion with Double Kick and Sacred Sword, Shadow Machamp with Counter and Dynamic Punch. Other counters are Mega Heracross with Counter and Close Combat, Hariyama with Force Palm and Dynamic Punch, and Vikavolt with Bug Bite and X Scissor. Darkrai has 1 in 20 shiny odds but is not tradable, so you can be one and done in the shiny department unless you are hunting a Shundo. If you are, the hundo numbers you're hunting are 2136 non-weather boosted or 2671 in foggy weather. Cobalian's weaknesses are Fighting Ground and Fire, Trioable, but bring 5. Best attackers are Mega Lucario with Force Pulmonary Sphere, Mega Mewtwo X with Counter and Focus Blast, Primal Groudon with Mudshot and Precipice Blaze, Keldeo in its Resolute form with Low Kick and Secret Sword, Mega Blaziken with Counter and Aura Sphere, and Shadow Rusher with Fire Fang and Fusion Claire. Lower level attackers include Mega Heracross with Counter and Close Combat, Machamp with Counter and Dynamic Punch, and Excadrill with Mud Slap and Scorching Sands. 1 in 20 shiny odds and 100% IVCPs of 1727 or 2159 boosted in snowy or cloudy weather. Terrakion is weak to a whole bunch of things. It's doable, but bring 4 just to be safe. Top counters include Crown Sword Zacian, Metal Claw, and Behemoth Blade, Crown Shield Zamazenta, Metal Claw, and Behemoth Bash, Duskmane Necrozma, Metal Claw, and Sunsteel Strike, Mega Mewtwo Y with Psycho Cut and Shadow Ball, Primal Kyogre with Waterfall and Origin Pulse, and Keldeo in its Resolute form with Low Kick and Secret Sword. If you don't have those higher counters powered up yet, just bring your strongest Pokemon, as most likely they'll deal super effective damage. If you're looking for specific recommendations, though, we would suggest Mega Heracross with Counter and Close Combat, Machamp with Counter and Dynamic Punch, or Excadrill with Mudslap and Scorching Sands. Terrakion has 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 2113 non-weather boosted or 2641 in partly or fully cloudy weather. Virizion is weak to flying, but also to fairy, fire, poison, ice, and psychic type attacks. Doable, but make it a 3-way. Best counters include Mega Ray, Air Slash Dragon Ascent, Regular Ray, same moveset, Shadow Toucanian with Peck and Beak Blast, Shadow or Mega Salamence with Fire Fang and Fly, Shadow Moltres with Wing Attack and Fly, and Shadow Staraptor with that same moveset. Also, Mega Pidgeot with Gust and Brave Bird, Hodgecrow with Peck and Sky Attack, and Braviary with Air Slash and Fly. Virizion has 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 1727 non-weather boosted or 2159 in sunny weather. Genesect in all of its drives, double weak to fire. Soloable, bring 3 to be safe. Counters: Shadow Reshiram, Fire Fang Fusion Flare, Mega Charizard, Fire Spin Blast Burn, Shadow Heatran, Fire Spin Magma Storm, Blacephalon, Incinerate Mind Blown, Shadow Moltres, Fire Spin Overheat, Shadow Chandelier, same moveset. Or Mega Houndoom, Fire Fang Flamethrower, Chandelier, Fire Spin Overheat, Delphox, Fire Spin Blast Burn. All drives have 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 1916 non-weather boosted or 2395 in rainy or snowy weather. Xerneas, Trioable, bring 5. Also bring Steel and Poison counters like Crown Sword Zacian, Metal Claw, and Behemoth Blade, Crown Shield Zamazenta, Metal Claw, and Behemoth Bash, Duskmane Necrozma, Metal Claw, and Sunsteel Strike, Mega Lucario with Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash, Shadow Dialga with Metal Claw and Iron Head, or Shadow Metagross or Mega Metagross with Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash. Also, Mega Beedrill, Poison Jab, and Sludge Bomb, Excadrill, Metal Claw, and Iron Head, Roserade, Poison Jab, and Sludge Bomb, or Mega Aggron with Iron Tail and Heavy Slam. Xerneas has hundos of 2160 non-weather boosted or 2701 in cloudy weather and 1 in 20 shiny odds. Yelvadol, weak to Electric, Fairy, Rock, and Ice. Trioable, bring 5. Counters include Black Kyurem, Dragon Tail, and Free Shock, White Kyurem, Jagger Breath, and Ice Burn, Mega Gardevoir with Charm and Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Electivire with Thunder Shock and Wild Charge, Shadow Raikou with that same moveset, and Mega Deontay with Rock Throw and Rock Slide. Other counters include Glamora with Rock Throw and Meteor Beam, Mega Aerodactyl with Rock Throw and Rock Slide, Aurorus with Rock Throw and Meteor Beam, Mega Manectric with Thunder Fang and Wild Charge, and Mega Ampharos with Volt Switch and Zap Cannon. Yelvadol has 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 2160 non-weather boosted or 2701 in windy or foggy weather. Moving on to the Tapus, they're all doable, but it's best to bring 4 players per lobby. Starting with Tapu Koko, weak to Ground and Poison. Counters include Primal or Shadow Groudon with Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Mega and Shadow Garchomp with Mudshot and Earth Power, Eternatus, Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, Shadow Excadrill, Mudslap, Scorching Sands, Mega Gengar, Lick and Sludge Bomb, and Shadow Mamoswine with Mudslap and High Horsepower. Other counters are Mega Beedrill, Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, Golurk, Mudslap and Earth Power, or Rhydon with Mudslap and Earthquake. 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 1810 or 2263 in rainy or cloudy weather. Tapu Lele, weak to Poison, Ghost, and Steel. Counters include Crown Sword Zacian, Metal Claw, and Behemoth Blade, Crown Shield Zamazenta, Metal Claw, and Behemoth Bash, Duskmane Necrozma, Metal Claw, and Sunsteel Strike, Dawnwing's Necrozma with Shadow Claw and Moongeist Beam, Shadow or Mega Metagross with Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash, Mega Mewtwo Y with Psycho Cut and Shadow Ball. Budget options are Mega Beedrill with Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, and Mega Alakazam with Psycho Cut and Shadow Ball. Hundos of 1996 or 2496 with windy or cloudy weather boost and 1 in 20 shiny odds. Tapu Bulu is weak to Poison, Fire, Flying, Ice, and Steel type attacks. Best counters are Mega Beedrill with Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, Eternatus with that same moveset, Mega Gengar with Lick and Sludge Bomb, Mega Rayquaza with Air Slash and Dragon Ascent, Nihilego with Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, and Naganadel with that same moveset. Other counters are Roserade with Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, Overqua with that same moveset, and Reverum with Poison Jab and Gunk Shot. This Tapu has hundos of 1953 or 2442 in sunny or cloudy weather boost and 1 in 20 shiny odds. Tapu Fini, weak to electric, grass, and poison type attacks. However, it is double weak to poison, so keep that in mind. Best Pokemon, Mega Sceptile, Bullet Seed, Frenzy Plant, Mega Gengar with Lick and Sludge Bomb, Xurkitree with Thundershock and Discharge, Eternatus, Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, Shadow Raikou with Thundershock and Wild Charge, and Kartana with Razor Leaf and Leaf Blade. Other counters are Mega Manectric with Thunderfang and Wild Charge, Mega Beedrill with Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, and Electivire with Thundershock and Wild Charge. 1 in 20 shiny odds, hundos of 1632 non-weather boosted or 2041 in rainy or partly cloudy weather. And finally, Ultra Beast, we're almost done, you guys. We've got Nihilego up first. It's weak to ground, psychic, water, and steel type movesets. It's soloable, but I would make it a three-way if you don't have optimal counters. Speaking of counters, Primal or Shadow Groudon, Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Mega or Shadow Garchomp, Mudshot and Earth Power, Shadow Excadrill with Mudslap and Scorching Sands, Shadow Mamoswine with Mudslap and High Horsepower, Landorus in its Therian form with Mudshot and Sandsear Storm, and Shadow Rhyperior with Mudslap and Earthquake. Additionally, Rhydon or Crocodile with Mudslap and Earthquake, and we could also use Golurk with Mudslap and Earth Power. 1 in 20 shiny odds on Nihilego, and hundos of 2256 or 2829 boosted in partly or fully cloudy weather. Guzzlord is weak to Bug, Dragon, Fairy, Fighting, and Ice type attacks. Trioable, best to bring 5. Counters, Mega Gardevoir, Charm, Dazzling Gleam, Eternatus, Dragon Tail, D-Max Cannon, Mega Lucario, Force Palm, Aura Sphere, Mega Ray, Dragon Tail, Break and Swipe, Enamorus in its incarnate form with Fairy Wind and Dazzling Gleam, and Crown Swords Uxie with Metal Claw and Play Rough. Other counters are Hatterene with Charm and Dazzling Gleam, Togekiss with that same moveset, and Primarina with Charm and Moonblast. Hundos of 1650 or 2062 with Windy or Foggy Weather Boost, and 120 shiny odds. Stakataka will be appearing only in the Eastern Hemisphere. It's double weak to fighting and ground type movesets. It's duelable, but make it a three-way. Best counters are Mega Lucario with Force Palm and Aura Sphere, Mega Mewtwo X with Counter and Focus Blast, Shadow or Primal Groudon with Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Keldeo in its Resolute form with Low Kick and Secret Sword, Mega Blaziken with Counter and Aura Sphere, and Terrakion with Double Kick and Sacred Sword. Other counters are Mega Heracross with Counter and Close Combat, Machamp with Counter and Dynamic Punch, or Excadrill with Mudslap and Scorching Sands. Stakataka has 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 1882 non-weather boosted or 2353 in partly cloudy and snowy weather. Blacephalon in the Western Hemisphere is weak to dark, water, ghost, rock, and ground type attacks. It's a fairly easy duo, make it a three-way if you're lower level. The best Pokemon to counter Blacephalon are strong Mega and Primal Pokemon such as Primal Groudon with Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Primal Kyogre with Waterfall and Origin Pulse, Mega Tyranitar with Bite and Brutal Swing, Mega Swampert with Water Gun and Hydro Cannon, Mega Garchomp with Mudshot and Earth Power, and Mega Mewtwo Y with Psycho Cut and Shadow Ball. Now, since you can only bring one Mega Evolved Pokemon per lobby, here are some lower level counters that you can bring along. If you don't have them powered up yet, just use the strongest ones you got. If you need recommendations, use Shadow T-Tar, Bite and Brutal Swing, Shadow Hydreigon, same moveset, Shadow Kyogre, Waterfall and Origin Pulse, Shadow Rhyperior with Mudslap and Rock Wrecker, Shadow Greninja with Water Shuriken and Hydro Cannon, or Shadow Groudon with Mudshot and Precipice Blades. Blacephalon will have 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 1884 non-weather boosted or 2355 in sunny or foggy weather. Celesteela, Southern Hemisphere, weak to electric and fire. Trio will bring 5. Best counters are Shadow Rusher and Fire Fang and Fusion Flare, Mega Charizard, Fire Spin and Blast Burn, Shadow Heatran, Fire Spin and Magma Swarm, Blacephalon with Incinerate and Mind Blown, Regieleki with Thundershock and Thunder Cage, and Thundurus in its Therian form with Volt Switch and Wild Bolt Storm. Also, Mega Manectric, Thunderfang Wild Charge, Mega Houndoom, Firefang Flamethrower, Chandelure with Fire Spin and Overheat, Delphox with Fire Spin and Blast Burn. Celesteela has 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 1772 non-weather boosted or 2216 in windy or snowy weather. Kartana, Northern Hemisphere, weak to fighting and double weak to fire. It's an easy trio, but bring 4 if you're lower level. Counters, Mega Blaziken, Fire Spin, Blast Burn, Mega Charizard, Fire Spin and Blast Burn, Shadow Heatran with Fire Spin and Magma Storm, Blacephalon with Incinerate and Mind Blown, Shadow Rusher and Fire Fang Fusion Flare, Shadow Moltres, Fire Spin and Overheat. Budget options, Mega Houndoom, Fire Fang and Flamethrower, Chandelure with Fire Spin and Overheat, and Delphox with Fire Spin and Blast Burn. Kartana has hundos of 2101 non-weather boosted or 2626 in sunny or snowy weather and 1 in 20 shiny odds. Buzzhole, appearing in the Americas and Greenland, is weak to fairy, fire, flying, and psychic type attacks. Duelable, but bring 4. Top counters are Mega Rayquaza with Air Slash and Dragon Ascent, Enamorus in its incarnate form with Fairy Wind and Fly, Shadow Toucanian with Peck and Beak Blast, Shadow or Mega Salamence with Fire Fang and Fly, Shadow Moltres with Wing Attack and Fly, and Shadow Staraptor with Gust and Fly. Other counters are Mega Pidgeot with Gust and Brave Bird, Mega Charizard Y with Fire Spin and Blast Burn, and Braviary with Air Slash and Fly. Buzzhole has 1 in 20 shiny odds and hundos of 1977 non-weather boosted or 2472 in rainy or cloudy weather. Pheromosa in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and India is weak to fairy, flyer, flying, and psychic type attacks. Doable, but take 4. Best counters are Mega or regular RAYQUAZA with Air Slash and Dragon Descent. Enamorous in its incarnate form with Fairy, Wind, and Fly. Shadow Toucanian with Peck and Beak Blast. Shadow or Mega Salamence with Fire, Fang, and Fly. Shadow Moltres with Wing Attack and Fly, or Shadow Staraptor with Gust and Fly. Also utilizable are Mega Pidgeot with Gust and Brave Bird, Mega Charizard Y using Fire Spin and Blast Burn, and Braviary with Air Slash and Fly. Pheromosa has 1 in 20 shiny odds and hunter numbers of 1624 non-weather boosted or 2030 in rainy or cloudy weather. Almost done, y'all. Xurkitree is weak only to ground type attacks, trioable, but bring 5. Counters include Primor Shadow Groudon with Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Mega Shadow Garchomp with Mudshot and Earth Power, Shadow Mamoswine with Mudslap and High Horsepower, Shadow Excadrill with Mudslap and Scorching Sands, Landorus in its Therian form with Mudshot and Sandsear Storm, Mega Mewtwo Y with Psycho Cut and Psy Strike. Other counters include, Mega Heracross with Fury Cutter and Earthquake, Golurk with Mudslap and Earth Power, Mega Metagross with Fury Cutter and Earthquake, and Rhydon with Mudslap and Earthquake. Xurkitree has 1 in 20 shiny odds and hunter numbers of 2249 non-weather boosted or 2812 in rainy weather. And for our Mega Raid, we will have Mega Salamence. It is weak to Dragon, Fairy, and Rock, and double weak to Ice-type moves. The top counters are going to be White Kyurem with Ice Fang and Ice Burn, Black Kyurem with Dragon Tail and Freeze Shock, Mega Mewtwo X or Y with Psycho Cut and Ice Beam, Mega Rayquaza with Dragon Tail and Breaking Swipe, Eternatus with Dragon Tail and Dynamax Cannon, or Shadow Mamoswine with Powder Snow and Avalanche. Other counters are going to include Glaceon with Ice Shard and Avalanche, Vanillux with Frost Breath and Avalanche, Satitan with Ice Shard and Avalanche, and Avalugg with Ice Fang and Avalanche. That's it, y'all. Salamence will have 1 in 64 shiny odds and hunter numbers of 2142 or 2678 boosted by windy weather. I hope this video helped you feel prepared for the Road of Legends event. Please let us know which of these raid bosses you are most excited to defeat on Monday. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our Patreon members. Can't wait to raid all of these bosses with you over on TikTok. Speaking of TikTok, if you guys haven't found us on other socials yet, check out all of the fun links in the description. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thanks for watching.